Thank you.
Tell us about the guitar you're playing there. You were already
Well,
kind of
indeed.
mentioning it.
Yes, this is a very new acquisition. It's what you call a conversion,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's a 54 body, and these are actual PAFs. It was refinished. They even put a flame top on it.
Mhm.
They even redid the top. So this guitar is like really just all that's original about this guitar is the body and the neck, and but everything else in it is completely 50 specs. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and these are genuine humbuckers. All the wiring is from the right period.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, so it's the only way that I could get to something near a 59. You know?
Yeah.
And I've been playing 53, which has the trapeze tailpiece.
Right.
And I love it. It's a great guitar, but I miss the humbucking pickups a little bit. You know, I really do. I
Yeah.
love the P90s, but
Yeah.
I kind of wanted the humbucking pickups and also a stop tailpiece. You know,
Yeah.
it just functions a little bit better, stays in tune a little bit better.
Yeah.
So trust me, like many people, I've gone through a very long journey to get to this guitar. You know, Les Pauls have come and gone, 335 in there.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's trade, cash, all of that, you know, kind of thing to finally land here, which this thing is like having a 58 or a 59. It's an amazing guitar.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy.
Now, do you switch often between instruments, or you kind of find a favorite and that's where you stick for a while?
I like having a favorite.
Yeah.
I much prefer staying with one instrument. But I do so many different things musically, you know,
Yeah.
that it kind of demands the use of other instruments
Mm-hmm.
For, you know, different kinds of
Right.
songs,
Right.
you know. But I honestly feel that this guitar would give me, this one, you
Mm-hmm.
know, would give me pretty much everything I need
Yeah.
at this point. The
Yeah.
pickups are bright enough, you know, they're not dark and heavy like
Yeah,
a Les
yeah.
Paul can be,
Yeah.
kind of on the dark side, you know.
Yeah.
These are kind of hollow, a little bright and hollow. I love that woody sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the only
Gorgeous.
other instrument that I've played a ton out of is the Telecaster. I have a 60
Yeah.
Tele that I've been
Yeah.
playing for since 1991,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
But if I only have one instrument, I need humbucking pickups.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like humbucking.
Yeah. When you're on, I know right now you're just kind of running direct into an amp.
Mm-hmm.
What other, when you're on the road or something, what is some of the gear that you would normally be running through?
Well, I have a very simple pedal board.
Mm-hmm.
I use the Strymon Timeline Delay.
Mm-hmm. Gradient.
I'm using something called the POG,
Yeah.
which gives you
Yep.
2 extra octaves,
Mm-hmm.
right, middle, high, and low,
Yeah.
which I really like. I'm using the Electro Harmonics Deja Vibe.
Mm.
I'm using the TC Hall of Fame Reverb
Right.
unit.
Yep.
And then beyond that, you know, for overdrive, I still have the Send drive that I've been using for many, many years.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the original one, which somebody lost for me.
Oh.
Very upsetting, but it's a very good one.
Yeah.
And so when I use an overdrive, I use that.
And what amps? I know you're famed for playing Dumble amps.
Double overdrive special.
Yeah. Yep. Is there anything else that kind of comes close to that?
No.
Yeah.
But there are things that for somebody else would
work.
potentially be even better. You know?
Yeah.
But I am going through a period right now where I'm starting to get my gain down. I need to get my gain down.
Yeah.
So I'm actually looking into other amplifiers. You know, nothing can give me what my Dumble
With the
amplifier
Dumble,
does.
yeah.
But I'm actually kind of changing a little bit.
Yeah.
And so getting my volume down, I need to go to lower wattage.
Yeah.
And the Dumble, it likes to be open. It likes to breathe. It likes a lot of air, a lot
Yeah.
of room.
Yeah.
And so there are other amplifiers that will give you kind of a little more harmonic information, like right away,
Yeah.
like an old Fender amplifier.
Yeah.
You hear the tubes, you know.
Yeah, you hear the
air
tubes.
moving, and
That's right.
speakers really make a difference, you know.
That's right.
And the Dumble can, if it's on a low, if it's turned down, it can just sound kind of flat.
Yeah. It's got to open up.
Yeah.
I've only seen here in the store. I've only seen one Dumble come through. There's just not many of them around.
No. Custom hand built by
hand
Alexander Dumble, every
yeah.
one of them.
Yep. How long have you had that Dumble amp?
I bought that amplifier in 1983.
Really? Still kicking.
Same amp.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing.
Almost nothing has ever gone wrong with it.
Yeah.
Occasionally, every few years, Dumble does a little touch up.
Yeah.
You know.
Some of the folks have already been asking, and one of the things that you have opened up so much to guitar players is in blues in using the diminished scale.
Oh, yeah.
In being able to get some different sounds through using the diminished scale. Can you talk about that just for a second?
Well, I mean, I think it becomes kind of a thing because it's a really pretty easy way to, you know, just get some spice and some extra
Right.
notes
Right.
into blues playing.
Mm-hmm.
The beauty of the diminished scale is that one of the beauties of the diminished scale is that it can be used as a static jam,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
straight up. We were in C, just
Mhm.
C raised 9.
Mm-hmm.
You can play the diminished scale and you're not going to hit a wrong note. you
Yeah.
know? It's included.
Mm-hmm.
The C raised 9 chord is included in that scale.
Mm-hmm.
So right there you're able to play a flatted 9th against the 7th chord.
Right.
And you could just play it.
Yep.
And it's completely legal, and it's really up to you whether or not it sounds good to you.
Yeah.
And if it sounds good to you, that's good enough,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So, and it's like a 6 chord. Like if we're playing a C raised 9. So I just took these things. I'm a self-taught musician, man. So I didn't find things through teachers. I didn't find them through books, other than basic scales. I got basic scales out of books. I got a book, and it went that scale, that scale, that scale, and I practiced those scales. But what you do with them, basically I just listened, and this all started with the Miles Davis.
Yeah.
I heard that Miles Davis thing when I found this scale. I'm like, oh, that's that Miles Davis thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so my ear was accustomed to hearing it from one of my favorite musicians. I didn't understand it, but I liked it.
Yeah.
So when I got to find out what it was, I was very excited. So some of you, if you've been following me at all, you may know, but I learned the scale because I was playing with Charlie Musselwhite, Chicago blues artist. Charlie's from Mississippi, but moved to Chicago, to work in the steel mills, man, in his 20s or maybe late teens. So became a harmonica player. And we were splitting the bill with the recently deceased guitarist Larry Coryell. And Larry was playing all these notes that I had no idea what they were, And I asked him, and he said, I used the half-step, whole-step scale. That was it. So I went home and I went half-step, whole-step, half-step. I just started practicing it, Sounds sort of Far Eastern or something, But we have that major sixth. If you do that, you just played diminished. You just played a diminished series of notes. That's a minor third, which is diminished. Minor third intervals is what diminished is.
Yeah.
E, G, da, 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 da. So it's already there. It's built right into that sound, like major sixth, B.B. King. It's right there, So if somebody plays a flatted ninth against that, you're like, whoa. But it's fair game. If somebody plays a 9 chord, it's no longer fair game because you can't play that flatted ninth. But I do. You can override. You can override the harmony, And that guy is supposed to go, oh shit. Pardon my French. He's supposed to be listening, It's like, oh, I hear what he's doing. I can't play that 9 chord, That's the whole interaction thing, and you're listening all the time because you have to know what that guy's doing, or maybe it doesn't sound so good.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's an altered scale, altered 5 chord, and for me, what I really love about it is you can just play it on a flat-out jam. If you play C7, every note in that chord is found in the diminished scale. Right? There's the 3rd, there's the 5th, there's the 7th. That's diminished right there. That can be diminished. I can play a flat 9 on that. I can play all those notes. That's diminished scale, that classic melody, right?
Wow.
Is that?
Yeah.
It's not
Not Tunisia. It'll come to me. It'll come to me tonight. Long after this, then I'll go, oh, well, that's the tune. Let's let Robben
Caravan.
Yeah.
That's Caravan.
All right. We'll let Robben catch his breath for just a second, and we will let's talk about some resources that Robben has. We were kind enough to get in contact with our good friends over at True Fire, And you have done, I think, 11 courses with them. I counted on their website.
Fantastic. I love them.
Great guys over there. If you're not familiar with TrueFire, check them out at truefire.com. A lot of great guitar resources over there. A lot of our guitar gathering friends have done courses over there. And Johnny Hyland's done courses over there. Corey Congilio, Robbins done numerous courses over there. If you're looking for great blues instruction, check out some of his courses that he has over there. In fact, the TrueFire folks said, for our broadcast tonight, if you are watching the broadcast tonight, they will give you a 30% discount on any TrueFire course. Wow. You've got to use the promo code GATHERING30. GATHERING30. You can use that. Just go into TrueFire, find whatever course you want, type in that promo code, and it'll automatically get you 30% off of any TrueFire course. And they were kind enough to give us 5 of Robbins, one of Robbins' blues courses. So we are going to give away 5 of those. Let's give away 2 of them right now, and then we'll do 3 at the end. So we need a couple of names. Okay, we'll give away 2 of them right now. So the first one we're going to give away to Lee Candiotti. Lee Candiotti, you have just won.
Congratulations.
Come on. Hey. And let's give away one more. CJ Ray. Is that what you have there? Okay, CJ Ray, you have won one as well. Hey, both you guys, send me an email at service@mightyoakmusic.com and your mailing address, things like that. I will get that over to TrueFire, and in a week or so, you should be getting a notification from them, and you'll be able to get your TrueFire course from them. So there you go. Yeah, lots of fun. Now, Robben, you also have, there's Robben's website, robbenford.com.
Yes.
Tons of resources there, but you are also doing a guitar camp
Yeah.
at Sweetwater.
Yeah,
Tell
I've
us
done
about
one
that.
for the last 5 years in a row at Full Moon Resort in the Catskills in New York.
Beautiful.
But I just wanted to get into a little bit more urban environment,
Yeah.
a little bit more, so that people don't have to drive or fly miles, to be out in the country.
Yeah.
And they have resources right around them. They can go out to dinner, for instance.
Yeah.
So anyway, I have a good relationship with Sweetwater there. I've recorded 2 records at Sweetwater. They have a wonderful recording facility there.
Yeah.
And so we're there, I want to say April 24, 5, 6, 7. I'm pretty sure that those are the dates. But you can find it on my website. You can find it, right, Kelly? Is it there? Okay. You can find it on my website. You can find it at Sweetwater, probably. I don't know. I'm sure. And it only recently went on sale, so there's probably a lot of room for people.
What type of things do you cover with that?
Well, it's kind of open.
Yeah.
I have had a tendency to bring kind of a booklet that I've used for years, which just has a little bit of everything that I do. Mm-hmm. Pages, mm-hmm. some chords, some scales, some usages of them and stuff. I find that I just have the best result by just opening my mouth and talking. Just talk about it. And things just kind of evolve.
Yeah.
Like we're doing here.
Yeah.
But I, have 3 focuses, which is, of course, improvisation,
Mm-hmm.
rhythm playing, and songwriting, which has been generally kind of my favorite subject.
Yeah.
Because that's what I've poured my creative energy into, has been songwriting for the last 20 years, probably.
Yeah. We've got so many questions here. There was one of them that was sent in earlier that I wanted to get to.
Mm-hmm.
How do you break out of even just a pentatonic scale, but turn it into something that is musical? How do you make that leap from just knowing the scale, learning a scale, no matter what it is, pentatonic or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
start to where you can start to evolve some ideas out of it, evolve some creative things out of it?
Well, I can only kind of speak for myself, because there are so many different stylists, There's so many different styles.
Mm-hmm.
And ways people approach playing guitar. For me, my favorite instrumentalists were, for the most part, were tenor players,
Yeah, horn players.
alto players, and of course Miles Davis's trumpet. And I always gravitated towards the melody guys, you know. So the whole, you know, I mean, how to be musical, you know, it is, for me, was like, well, play something beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, if you can't play something beautiful, which means not only harmonically, you know, something beautiful, but, you know, like B.B. King, you know, no harmonic genius there, but, you know, the way he expressed himself
Right.
was simple and profound, you know,
Yeah.
basic human emotion. So if you're not coming from there right from the start, how could you possibly be musical? Because music, real music, is directly related to that. This is the whole point,
Yeah.
you know, of music is that, you know? Everything else comes later.
Yeah.
So if you don't start right, you know, you can't get to that other place, in my opinion. And I say this because this is how I learned, you know, was I wanted to play something musical, and this is why I'm not a jazz guitarist. Not that there aren't plenty who do play beautiful, incredible, you know, musical things, but I just never was studious. I was never a real chops guy, you know. I developed my chops to a certain degree, but my chops are limited compared to many of the people that are, you know, would be considered my contemporaries. And even the, you know, the amount of things that these guys have in their bag, you know, I don't have all those things, you know. I can't do all that. I have a few things that I can do well. And so it's like, okay, right now, how can I make some music? And if I'm like making, I know what I'll do. I'll play what I did last night. Sorry, it's over. You know, zero chance of playing music for a guy like me. You know, you need to be scared, and like I was saying earlier, you know, not afraid to be a fool. You know, you have to be kind of wear your heart on your sleeve. You know, expose yourself. You have to do that. This is my school. This is how I learned, was by absolutely making a fool of myself with a little bit of knowledge, which can, you know, what they say about a little bit of knowledge, you know. But I learned the basic scales. I learned the chords. You know, I learned the chords first of jazz chords, and then I learned the scales that run over those chords, and I played them exactly like I started playing the pentatonic scale. And you can play the pentatonic scale pretty damn easily. You know, it's right under your fingers. I don't know, many of you, if you may know, but the guitar is tuned to the pentatonic scale, right? Da, 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 da. Hence the blues and the pentatonic scale. Throw a little flatted fifth in there, and right? So I just did that with the diminished scale. I just approached it exactly the same way, and just use it as a jam, you know. And then, you know, my ears are good enough that I picked up a little, you know, how it was being used in the jazz tradition a little bit, you know. So I can play a couple of 2-5-1s, man, but not a lot. So my whole approach has had to be musical. I've demanded playing music of myself. And it's like, but I don't have much to play. Play some music with that. So it's a melody. It has to be a melody. That's all I got, you know.
Can you talk just for a second about your touch on the instrument? Your attack on the instrument. So much of your sound, I mean, it doesn't even really matter what instrument you're playing or what you're doing. So much of your sound is in your fingers.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about your attack and your approach on the instrument?
Have you seen that bad lip reading translation of Adolf Hitler and the people, and he's saying,
Pedals, yeah.
and they're pointing on the map and showing, yes, we have all the proper electronics, that to get,
Yeah.
for this amplifier. The Fuhrer goes, at last, now I can get Stevie's tone. And then the room clears, and two guys are like, Führer, mein Führer. Tone. And he can't say it, and the other guy goes, it's in the hands. It's like, it's good. So anyway, it's absolutely true. You see, not afraid to be a fool. Tone is absolutely in the hands. There's no question about it. That's why everybody sounds different, man. And every now and then, somebody can sound just like somebody else. I sounded a lot like Mike Bloomfield, who was my first hero. He's the only guy that I ever really sounded like. Somehow I could relate to that, kind of capture that pretty good. And he was a huge influence on me from that. So, Mike Bloomfield, that's ground zero for me, First Butterfield Blues Band album, man. That is absolutely ground zero. That's where my Teletone comes from. That's where I learned to love. I like guitars that aren't distorting. I like a loud, clean sound, B.B. King's like that. Loud, clean. Albert King's like that. No distortion, no foot pedals,
Yeah.
So, yeah. So those are the people that I was listening to. If you don't listen to Yngwie Malmsteen, God bless him, for tone, in my opinion, because, he does his thing, and it's amazing. But, this shows you how old I am. That's the only reference I could come up with right now. But it's like, to me, you need to plug into an amplifier and get a good sound like that. And if you figure that out, it's clearly up to you, guitar, amp. Why doesn't it sound good? Shitty amp. Sometimes it is. Yeah. Or the guitar is not really very good, but you have to make it sound good.
Yeah.
In my day, we were playing harmony guitars and Silvertone amplifiers.
That's true. Let's see. Jerome Hebert is asking, is Robben using a pick or fingernails to play with primarily?
I use pick and fingers.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, when I started doing that thing. That little jam, all pick, really. If I have a band, there's a rhythm section, I don't have to play, then I'm very much in between fingers and pick. And the thing that made me want to play with my fingers was I loved the sound of the guitarist Eric Gale. Long ago. He's passed away. Not Eric Gales, but Eric Gale. And Eric Gale played an L5 with his fingers. And he just loved the pop in his sound, Yeah. And so how can I get that? I was trying to sound like Eric Gale. And I was playing a 335, and so I just started doing that. And eventually I was able to kind of bring, what I always say is I hit the string with the finger closest to it. That's my technique.
And you're not
Gotta make sense.
And you're not really, there's really no nails that you're using.
Oh, I never use nails.
Yeah.
And the pick, I just put it between my fingers like that.
Yeah.
And I never thought about it. Can I answer Martin Roeder's question?
Please.
What was Robben's first ever guitar, and does he still have it? And it was a Japanese thing called an Orpheus. Strings were about that high off the fretboard, and they were probably flat wounds. And I do not have it.
What happened to that guitar?
I don't know.
It's always...
That's so long ago, man.
Yeah.
I was 13.
Did you come from a musical family?
Big time. Yeah, both my parents sang and played some piano. My father was a country and western musician,
Mhm.
kind of a la like Bob Wills
Mhm.
or Hank Williams. He'd sing Hank Williams tunes and
Mhm.
ballads, and which was interesting. You know, we talked a little bit about the Time Jumpers, whom I've developed a nice relationship
Yeah.
with, and they let me sit in with them and stuff. You know, and I realized that was actually the kind of music that, you know, my father was playing around the kitchen table.
Yeah.
Was same kind of stuff they do, that 2-beat swingy shit,
Yeah.
you know, pardon again my Latin.
Yeah.
But so it's actually kind of in my DNA, that kind of music.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very interesting to be in Nashville.
Yeah.
Very interesting to find myself in Nashville.
It has a much broader music scene than you would think from the outside.
It is huge.
Yeah.
It is absolutely huge.
Yeah. The wonderful, wonderful spirit of the musicians here. Everybody's very giving
Yep.
and happy to learn from.
Friendly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Wonderful town. If you are interested in taking advantage of the True Fire discount, use the word gathering, all caps, and then 30. You can get 30% off of any True Fire course. Check out robbenford.com for all of Robben's wonderful materials. Check out True Fire for all the courses that he's done.
May I add something to that?
Please, yeah.
Yeah, I've just launched my own record label. And it's called 13J Records. If someone's seen my website, which was really newly renovated by Kelly Roberts, they will know this, you know. I had done one record with an Icelandic guitarist named Bjorn Thoroddsen, whom I brought here to Nashville to play with me, and he actually toured with me in the Northeast. But the first kind of formal release is from a gentleman named Jeff Mackerlane, who was a teacher. I met him with the True Fire people. He and I have become good friends, and he's a really good guitar player. And I said, no, I said, let's do a record together. And he said, absolutely. So Jeff Mackerlane Now is available on my website, on my new label. So be the first on your block. A lot more to come. That was a wonderful example of a man who's got some ears on his head and knows what to do. That was great, man. Really nice, Steve. If I may say.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for being
thank you,
being
man.
here, being part of it.
Thank
It
you.
is a joy having you here.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, keep up the great work in your own learning, and we will see you guys next time.